Hello, Internet. This is Whispering Whim, finally bringing you another grocery haul. I know the wait for this one has been a little on the long side. Without going too much in depth, it's been a kind of a tragic month for me and my fiance. But we're doing better now, and I've got groceries. So I don't want to dwell too much on bad stuff since these kinds of videos are supposed to be nice and relaxing, right? So let's jump right into the groceries. First up, we'll jump into the cooler bag since it's very hot out there and in here. And I'm sure all this stuff needs to get put away the quickest. So first up is a little pack of baby carrots. I did not have enough time to stop at Sam's Club today. So I did buy some small things like this that I would normally buy in bulk. And hopefully soon I'll get to Sam's Club and buy the big bulk, right? Anyways, next up is some mozzarella. And we've got some jalapeno ranch for the guy. And then kind of in the way on the top here is some pre-grilled hamburger patties. I normally stay away from convenience items like this. But again, it's been kind of a crazy month. And we're going to be away from the house this weekend, so I wanted something that was quick and easy to prepare to kind of get us through until I do more shoppings. And in that same vein, I got some raviolis, and it's grilled chicken and mozzarella flavored. And I was thinking of making like a creamy garlic sauce to go with it. I didn't buy like a jar of marinara, which would be kind of a easier go-to, but cream sauces are pretty easy to make, so hopefully it'll be tasty ravioli worthy of a homemade cream sauce, right? Next in our cooler bag, we've got, can you guess? Some beer. This is the boy's favorite beer, and he doesn't really need to drink. He definitely doesn't drink as much as I do, but we bought some beer because we went camping a month or two ago, and he's like been holding it on. He's the type of guy who like squirrels things away and saves them forever, and because he was saving it forever, I ended up drinking like one or two of his cans of beer. So while I didn't have to buy him replacements, in fact, he may even frown upon it a tiny bit, I had to. Mostly because, he deserves to relax once in a while too, right? Next up, after that, is some sirloins for steak sandwiches. It's a very tasty summer treat, I think. I love making steak sandwiches in the summer. And after that, we've got some more cheese, this time a 3-cheese mix with Parmesan, Romano, and Assaggio cheeses. And I better put this down because after this is a large amount of frozen vegetables. We've got Asian stir fry, San Francisco blend, winter blend, which is just cauliflower and broccoli, right? Some more of the Asian stir fry, more of the San Francisco blend, and last but not least, some green beans. Believe it or not, we'll go through this pretty fast. I've actually been running out of vegetables every month. So yay us for eating all our veggies. And so after our big pile of vegetables comes a big pile of cheese, starting with the ever classic string cheese that I put in the boys' lunch. And then we've got some Kobe Jack and turkey stick combo packs. And then we have some Mexican four cheese in the expensive Tillamook brand. Yes, brand. I like the way their cheese tastes best of all. And then finally, some provolone. This is my cheese of choice for steak sandwiches. Following all that cheese is a little bit of meat. I got 1 tube of ground beef and the ever constant bacon that is always wrapped differently because people at the deli counter are not trained on how to wrap bacon, apparently. This seems to be an odd pet peeve of mine. It really shouldn't matter. It doesn't affect the bacon that much, other than if you are really messy when you throw it in there, it can oxidize a little faster. But, I mean, usually I divvy it up and freeze portions of it, and it really shouldn't matter to me. But it does. So, what can I say? I'm going to keep complaining about the deli counter people, because I like this brand of bacon better than what I can get in the packages. And that concludes our big cooler bag, but I do have at least one more, maybe 2 more items that didn't fit, that need to get refrigerated right away. Can't seem to talk today. But anyways, here's some half and half. And I don't think anything else needs to be refrigerated, so I'll go ahead and put this guy away. So that leads us to my favorite bag that still needs to be repaired. I have not done that yet. Again, crazy month. And first in the Daiso bag is some donuts for the boy and some strawberry snacks. Kind of a unintentional strawberry theme right there, right? And then we've got a little jar of coffee. I don't really like Winco's selection on coffee too much, but I really didn't have time today for 2 stops, so I just got a little jar, and hopefully I'll get something better later on. And then we have, looks like some more lunch items, some nut bars, and normally there's a different brand, I think like Kellogg's or something like that. It has like a high protein bar. And I try to get my guy ones that have some protein in it, because otherwise it's just flavored sugar, right, with some nuts. But I was reading nutrition labels today, and this one actually has 6 grams of protein without intentionally being a protein bar. And while that's nothing like super exciting, it's enough that I decided to try the Nature Valley brand, partly to give him some variety, because the protein bars I tend to buy him only come in like 2 flavors at Winco anyways. And I just can't bring myself to pay twice as much to buy them at like a little grocery store that might have a different variety, right? But anyways, in addition to the protein bars, I got this pack of Nature Valley granola cups, and these are really tasty. They're not very healthy. Not very healthy at all. They have 3 grams of protein, so that's nothing too impressive. 20 grams of carbohydrate, which is not great, but decent for a snack item that's not intended to be low carb, right? And 9 grams of fat. So if you're going to have something unhealthy, I mean, this would be a bit better of something for me to grab Then like little Debbie cakes and stuff, which I also purchased. um, yeah, so I'm hoping it's been very touch and go with the dieting. I am doing good on the days that I have a lot of control over, like my whole day's worth of eating, but we've had to do some extra family events, and there's been a lot of sadness and everything. My partner, he lost a cousin this month, so I I guess I'm a comfort eater. You know, I eat when I am feeling a little out of my element, or if I'm feeling sad and socially awkward, which are all things I've had to deal with this month. And this weekend we get to go to the wedding, which is on the same side of the family. So that poses to be a interesting affair. It's like a destination camping wedding. Um, so I hope it'll be fun, but I'm not a big fan of long social situations. So fingers crossed that it goes all right. And I apologize for bringing up the sad thing, even though I told myself I wasn't going to do it. It's just had a big impact on our month. Okay, so we're not going to dwell on that too much. We'll move right along here. We got our little Colbert bag, and inside that is some bananas and one little moon pie to surprise my honey with in his lunches. And then I ended up getting this tomato, garlic, basil seasoning packet yet again. I wasn't going to do it. I actually bought a whole bunch of really cool spices. I guess it was a week ago. We needed to get out of the house and not think about family stuff. So I went to, there's a spice place here in Reno. And I'm so into cooking that I'll sit there and I'll like smell and sniff and sometimes even taste spices when given the opportunity. So I got a bunch of new ones. So chili powder and mango chipotle rub. And we also got a honey wasabi powder, which is intended for popcorn, although the packaging says you can use it for lots of items. And so I cooked stovetop popcorn just so that I could try the honey wasabi powder, right? And I am impressed on how easy it is to make stovetop popcorn. I've never done it before, simply didn't see the need. You know, there's microwave bags and whatnot, but when you do it stovetop, you can control, you know, what you put on it. If it has butter or a lot of salt, or, you know, there's just more control. And it tastes good. It tastes better than microwave popcorn. So I think I'm going to be making a lot of popcorn. Anyways, next up is some diced peaches and a little thing of toothpaste and some bell peppers. These are for those steak sandwiches I was telling you about. And then we have some jalapenos, and I have discovered that I can buy too many jalapenos. We were not at the house as much as we normally are, so I had a whole bag of jalapenos, more than this, sitting in the refrigerator, and unfortunately sitting in such a way that a lot of moisture got in the bag, and they actually molded. I've never had a jalapeno mold on me before. I was so surprised. Like, I didn't think about it, and I like stuck my whole hand in there, and yeah, it was kind of gross. So I don't know why I told you that story other than to reason why I bought less jalapenos. To follow that, we have some taco seasoning and some instant mashed potatoes. And my favorite oil now, I used to use a lot of like olive oil for cooking, but olive oil is kind of heavy, you know. It it sits a lot on your tongue, right? And I've been kind of leaning towards lighter oils. And this blend of avocado coconut oil, it's a little on the pricey side. It's like $7, I think, for a bottle this size. But it's really nice and light, and I don't know, I feel better eating it, which may be just a placebo effect. But it is good for popping popcorn in to round out my popcorn obsession, because we'll run out of that wasabi honey powder eventually, and it was kind of pricey. I did pick this up, some ranch flavored powder that you can just stick right on top. And it says that you can put it on vegetables and pasta and chicken too, so that might be kind of an interesting flavor to play around with. My boy definitely likes ranch, although we don't normally like buy ranch flavored things, but it should be good. And speaking of him, here's some apples for his lunches. Just a couple of them because I will go to Sam's Club at some point. I probably won't be able to do a video just for Sam's Club. It's just been too crazy. Because I've also been putting in overtime at work on top of everything else. So I do apologize. It might be a little while until I get to it again. But anyways, I'm going to buy some more apples later. That's the point I'm trying to get at. We have one little stray apple that was hanging out at the bottom of the bag there. And then for this bag, the last item is some nice tortillas for making taco shells with. And with that, we'll be down to our last bag here. But at least the last bag should have some interesting items in it. First up was this little bit of a impulse buy. You know, the boy likes jalapeno flavored things. And these they're like poppables. I've never had them before, but they look like they're kind of like waffle crisps, you know, potatoes. And I don't know if they'll be any good, but I like to keep things interesting because his lunches always have kind of like the same dynamic. You know, there's always a veggie, there's always a fruit, and because he's kind of particular about which fruits and vegetables he likes, there's like 5 options. And then there's a chippy item. So this should be a fun thing to try for the chippy item. And then usually I have some form of protein and something sweet. In the vein of chippy items, I also got his favorite potato chips, which are these crinkle cut salt and pepper guys. They're not my favorite. I think kettle cooked potato chips, you know, they're a little thicker to give you that strong snap. It's a little rough on my teeth, honestly. So it's kind of a good thing. It saves me from snacking on his snacks sometimes. Moving right along though, we've got some sourdough, which is my favorite type of bread. And it is also my bread of choice for making steak sandwiches. So I'll probably have to freeze some of this though to make sure I don't just eat it, because I am the type of person that'll stick some butter on there and just eat it without even toasting it. And then we've got some paper towels, 2 in fact. And I'm always surprised because I'm a big, I check the prices, bulk versus individuals, and these are still the best buy, paper towel wise. None of the bulk packages actually come close. I only pay 50 cents a piece for these individually wrapped rolls. So that's pretty good, right? Next up are those Little Debbie snack cakes that I was telling you about. Um, these are more for me than for my guy. Uh, I should feel like they're garbage. Um, as you may or may not know, I work in a bakery, right? And a lot of times I get kind of snooty about what kind of pastry I eat. I don't like frozen cakes and, like whipped cream. I'd rather make my own whipped cream in a mixer than using like Cool Whip. So I'm a little snobby. But these just taste like childhood to me. They're mostly wax and sugar. They're not good for you at all. But I don't know. I decided I wanted them and I got them. So what can you do, right? Also in the sweet things category, we've got some Chips Ahoy, Nutter Butters, and Oreos. These will exclusively be for my guys' lunches though. They're not for my snacking, hopefully. So he should enjoy that variety, I hope. Next up, in my big old bag over here, we just got one little, what do you call it, pitcher, water storage device. We used to have a nice glass iced tea jar, like tempered glass, like Pyrex. So you could pour the boiling water right into it and brew the iced tea all together. And sadly, I broke that. It's like 3 or 4 months ago now, a long time. And I've been keeping my eye out to try to find another glass iced tea jar. Unfortunately, all I keep running across are these like non-tempered ones, where you're not supposed to put boiling liquid in them, and they have like plastic spigots, so you would melt the spigot. And I kept trying to hold out. So finally, I decided I'm going to get this for now. And I'll make the iced tea on the stove, in a pot, like a normal, sane woman. But I may try to find like a good Pyrex container and put it on my wedding registry. I'm starting to think about all the household items that I can get, and I'm like, ooh. Because me and my guy, we've been living together for quite some time now. But most of our like houseware is like hand-me-down stuff, and it's serviceable, but I'm kind of excited to get some of my own stuff. So I'm one of the rare young brides that actually needs those things. A lot of my friends and whatnot that have been getting married recently, they don't need any of that. But my guy and I have been very frugal, and we're just basically using things until they're broken or, unserviceable. And that's okay up to a certain point, but I'm excited to have some new appliances. Like, way more than I should be. So, with that, we're at our last two items, which are some Triscuits, cracked pepper and olive oil flavor, and then roasted garlic. And that finishes out our grocery haul today. So shout out to Inara, Crystal Whispers, Emily Estrada, ASMR Fiend, Apple Tree, lots and lots of people. You guys have been really wonderful, and I know extra patient lately. I wish I could say that this dry spell is going to be over soon, but I'm done pretending that my life is going to quiet down. As I said, I'm going to a destination wedding this weekend, and then coming up in a week and a half, 2 weekends, I will be going wedding dress shopping, or to put it more accurately, wedding dress trying on to find the style, because we don't plan on buying my wedding dress. My sister-in-laws have volunteered to sew me my wedding dress, which is a little nerve-wracking. I know that they're decent seamstresses, but a wedding dress is a very, elaborate project. And it does mean that we have to like find patterns and like Frankenstein the dress together out of whatever I end up liking in the store. But it should be fun. And it'll be nice to do something like happy and positive and for me. Because, yeah, I'm ready to say goodbye. August, no more. You're done. And September will hopefully be my month. So I will see you sometime around then. And until then, thank you for watching. Thank you for being patient. And I hope you have a wonderful night. Bye bye.